I was born in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta. I grew up in Israel because my mother was born in Jerusalem. And my father was born in Canada. And he came to Israel to fight in 48. And I was born in 49. He really fought hard. But the thing is, I grew up in Israel. When I was in Israel, my children went to school in Israel. They were Israelis. One daughter was born in Canada. Just to give you a background on myself, I served in the Israeli army for 3 years. Then, after that, I left Israel for a while. I came back. I rejoined the Navy. I finished in the rank of lieutenant commander in the Israeli Navy. I was then recruited to the Mossad. I reached the rank of colonel in the Mossad, and that's when I left. The Mossad has a slogan, which is the anthem of the Mossad, if you want to call it. It's a biblical term. It says, "By way of deception, thou shalt do war." And that's what's on the logo of the Mossad, which, by the way, the only place it's ever been seen is on the internet on my homepage. Yes, is Judaism a race, a common history, a religion, a culture? Judaism is, I'll tell you, Judaism is, first of all, a religion. Then it becomes a nation. As far as race, there's a problem with that. I'll tell you why. Because most of the non-Sephardic Jews are descendants of a nation called the Khazari, or the Khazarian. So there is no such thing as dual loyalty. This is a myth. People say, well, you know, the Jewish community has a dual loyalty. That's wrong. Either you're loyal to your country or you're not. There is no duality in that. You cannot be loyal to two countries. Never will Israel agree to have an Israeli support the U.S. the way they expect people in the Jewish community to support Israel. There are more people in Israeli jails for supporting or helping U.S. intelligence than you have Israelis in American jails. Because any time there was a guy that was sat 15 years in Israeli prison, and nobody knew about him. He was a major in the Air Force, and he was arrested because he met with a secretary from the American embassy, and allegedly was intending to help the CIA. He didn't help the CIA. Nobody said he did. He intended. And 15 years later, they said that he's in jail. He was incommunicado. Nobody knew where he was. He disappeared. I had my second book. I had a record with my second book. I think my first book sold something around the world, close to 8 million copies. My second book was not reviewed in any newspaper in North America. Now that's a record. None. No, I'm sorry. I think the guy in the Phoenix Gazette and the people from B'nai B'rith walked in and asked for him to resign. Yeah, because he's an anti-Semite. Now, I know what they do because I used to ask them to do it. I mean, when I was in the Mossad and we had a guy that gave us problems in the U.S., and he was speaking out, and he was talking like Pete talked once and said, Israel is bombing Lebanon with cluster bombs. We say, hey, who's that guy? You know? Pete Makaki, we used to call him. Yeah, which is Pete the cockroach. Because he makes a lot of noise and you can't get rid of him. So what you do is you get in touch with a guy in the station in New York or in the station in Washington. You say, tell the guys at B'nai B'rith to label him. And of course the campaign starts, and before you know it, the guy's labeled. And he's an anti-Semite. Because that's what we say he is. And that's one stain you cannot wash. Now, it shames me as a Jew to tell you that. But that's the fact. And it's wrong.